shall be discreet.
Hi there everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pillars of Eternity. We are in the palace and we are going to attend this meeting. Let's see how it goes. We were instructed by Lady Webb to come and check this out.
Yeah? Sure.
Let's see where. Let's go.
Easy does it.
Let's see where this takes us. Okay. Let's quick save there because I want to steal from the palace. Just because I can.
Yeah?
Souvenirs. Oh, what's this? What's this? Probably their dungeon. There's another door. I know there's another door. Okay. Quick save and speak to the dude. Only people with official invitation are allowed to observe the Animancy. Did we get an official invitation? You turn to Braga and speak to Lady Webb, Hadred House. Read the journal. What is it? Lady Webb. Why did you come to me for a change? If I were to do this, I think this time you told me everything about Thaos. I told you everything you need to know, but not everything.
It's only right that you know everything. When I was younger, before Dunreed Row, I had many suitors. These were fine-looking men of good stock, but I could see their thoughts, and they were unimpressive. Boys' thoughts. I toyed with their affections. I resented all of them. And then I met a man whose mind was a mystery to me. But he understood me. He knew me at a glance, told me things I didn't know about myself. He was neither handsome nor charming. He was all I ever wanted.
You're talking about Thaos.
We made a game of my gift. He would ask me about people, and I would tell him what they were thinking. Sometimes the information was very sensitive. And then one day he asked me if I trusted him. I said I did. Next I knew I was donning a silver mask and swearing oaths to Woodica. using my gift for the leaden key still felt like a game to me, so I did it. I did it because it pleased him.
But it didn't last.
I don't like living in the dark. It's a powerless, hopeless feeling. Every day I did things without knowing their purpose. Every day I loved a man without knowing his thoughts of me. I sensed that there were things he wanted to tell me. I sensed that he knew everything the leaden key was created to hide. But Thaos was unyielding. One day I disappeared without a word. He would kill me for it, and I knew that. It's their rule. I just wanted to see him plunge the knife, because then I would know. But the day never came. He has left me to wonder. I have devoted my years to learning everything I could about him, in hopes I would find some clue as to who he really was, and why he felt he had to keep his secrets locked away. I have precious little to show for it. Just an old woman nagged by old thoughts. And that is truly everything I can tell you about Thaos. I hope you will accept this embarrassing story as a show of my good faith.
A woman be dabbling in both sides. I want to discuss the Animancy earrings at the palace.
What of them?
The Knights of the Crucible have accepted me into their delegations.
Good. Avar Wolfgren looks to the Crucible Knights as a voice of reason and order. Speaking from their section should lend you credibility with him. You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the leaden key, and Thaos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there. What of them?
Motherfucker, run.
So those feathers, that's a blessing of Helia?
So they say.
That's not very helpful.
Show him!
This bow is so broken. No, I just leveled, but how far am I? You climb levels really fast in this game. I mean, I'm already level 11.
Sure.
Yeah?
Where's the dog?
Hey there.
Play a manager for you on the balcony. Go to the upper floor. Oh. The room below is animated amidst the heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible knights stiff in their noisy armor sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens, who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers in their academic robes with expressions of their sour or concerned. Are they sour or concerned?
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you Animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
Ramir de Barask is originally from Palminia. He's one of the finest minds in Animancy to come out of the Valian Republics. He left for Defiance Bay 5 years ago, because he believed this was the true heart of Animancy research.
Pelagia's and the way she looks at her countrymen, you sense both pride and her mild sense of frustration.
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
So you admit, Master Barask, that Animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was?
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
There is no need. Master Azo recently passed the Shroud. And while the experiment failed, his work...
His work was sabotaged.
Ah, our new delegate from the Knights of the Crucible. What makes you say sabotage?
I've been a false patient in Brackenbury Sanitarium who was tampered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children.
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
Those who know me around here know me to be a infidel Noah. Cademan Azo should be held innocent. Those who know me around Cademan Azo should be held guilty. No, he isn't. This was the responsible scientist who was manipulated. How can you call him responsible? You saw the state of the sanitarium. I did not say it.
Horseshit! These Animancers can't be trusted! Look at what happened in Heritage Hill! Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves!
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justicia! You turn a blind eye, and look what happens!
I've been to Heritage Hill since the quarantine. Though the Knights of the Crucible were unable to control the damage, it was not Animancy, but an ancient machine that caused it. The Knights are blameless here. This was not the workings of Animancy, but an ancient device in dear knoweth.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
You think some rotting corpse or volunteer guard could stand in my way? I earned my answers. My word is my oath. I challenge anyone here to find someone who knows different.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I admit that your candor was mentioned more than once. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
You know that houses an Iguithan machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead.
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
I have reason to believe there were others at the tower who might have done this. There is no denying that they were studying dangerous machinery that they did not understand. They followed ambition blindly, taking few precautions and allowing personal feelings to get in the way of solving the problem.
But the very purpose of these experiments is to understand. So these dangerous things can be used responsibly.
This is what it comes down to, Your Grace. Whatever their intentions, Animancy's a pox. It makes a fucking wreck of everything. We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge.
Wrong bridge indeed.
It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it.
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son, my wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs, he couldn't cough up. My daughter, we put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker!
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's Animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
Again. God becomes to mud at this on taking it out for character. Right idea, Watcher, taking this earring by the curly ones. Don't waste your chance. Widewind's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Caedmon Azu downfall was their work, as was the Tower of Heritage Shield. They want you to do this. They want Animancy to fall. The dull muttering expands into a din and skeptical that fills the hall. I have seen them in the ruins of Irglanfeld, operating machines that disrupt and direct the flow of souls. Near towns like Gilded Vale and Deerford, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard their dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
Please, I want only to help Deerwood. You want to see Crazy make one more smart comment just like that. Birth invalids until your womb dries, for all I care. The rest of the people will be the truth. You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madam. I expect better from the Crucible Knights. If he did, for your husband's sake, I hope he had at least a brothel unlocked. If, as the Duke says, no theory has more proof than any other, what is the harm in hearing one more? Your quips cannot change the truth.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
What's more likely, the gods are destroying Deerwood for a science practiced in many parts of the world, or the group of people hates Animancy and wants it suppressed. The Leaden Key is very real. They are foreigners from Adir and Red Ceres who hate Deerwood and want to. Let's say a lord is cuckolded by his wife. If he tells her to stop, she only want her lover more. But if he spreads a rumor that her lover has just visited a brothel and acquainted a pox, we all want the same thing here. We want Widewind's legacy to end if we work. If you know anything about me, you know this. I have been called many things, but a liar and honest witness is the best piece of evidence.
The only piece of evidence.
The only piece of evidence that doesn't send your kind to the gallows, you mean?
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
As a crucible were instrumental in aiding my investigation.
I see. I am impressed the Knights seized such an unlikely opportunity to find an end to all of this. But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenbury Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
I would allow animals to continue their work. They explore questions we all wish to understand. If we'd known more, perhaps this crisis could have been averted. Her face still, but looks your way and suddenly nods in approval. Although shakes the Animancy serves their own ambition and their own purses. Giving them this power is like setting a child loose.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest. I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who has warned us of a new possibility that must be looked into. The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir de Barash, representing the interests of animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
For and against Animancy are both strong in their own way. I must be careful in my judgment.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing? No! Avenge the duel!
No, no, wait!
Stop this at once!
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you? Another time. I am already late.
You what? Just fall over. The words, shall I end it for you, ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath, struggling to keep your own balance. You drop to your knee and watch as Thaos hurries out of the building. The world dims around you. The screams and clashing of weapons fading to silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Thaos stands at the pulpit, high above an assembly of robed onlookers, you among them, clustered around a wide circular pit carved in stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone moor. Many of the woman's fingers and toes are severed. Yet, the skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black and red and seeping, and the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant who begins untying her from the wheel. The minion of the sleepers. You open your eyes to the beam ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal wafting from outside alongside the cries of injured as you stagger to your feet. Thaos is gone. A loth hovers over you, worry etched on his face. with current access, we've got to get out of here fast. His eyes dart to the hall. Off to one side, you can hear the clinking of rustle and of chainmail, and you look over to see a wounded guard slumped against the wall. He's trying to say something seemingly directly at you, but at first it is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to rasp out a few words. Lady Webb, she must be told. She'll know what to do. Please find her, tell her everything. The guard passes out and slides on the floor still.
They'll never know I'm here.
There's no one here. Let's steal. Now I'm stealing shit. Oh, why don't you go away? I want to steal shit. People are fighting and you are just standing there. Sidley. Don't go out there. There's rioting in the streets. So what they're gonna do? I'll kill them all. Can't believe there's a whole palace and I can only steal from one chest. Okay, he's being an asshole. Oh, cute. What? There's only one exit. This is Neverwinter Night all over again. Task failed. Why?
Hey there.
I've probably done it before I entered the jolting touch damage reduction shop. People are tripping. Shit got really fast. Okay. So, these people are also all murdered. Looks like everybody's murdered everywhere. People won't need these things. I'm assuming.
Hey there.
Get out of my way.
Consider it done. Give me a real challenge. This calls for a subtle
There.
touch. What did I tell you?
Is that it? Okay. It's literally just little bits of money.
I'll take a peek.
Lady Webb lies still in her bed, an ornate cushion propped her back upright. The blood pooled beneath a gash in her chest is tacky and nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You can feel the faint aura of her fading essence in your ken. You make contact and are immersed in a torrent of sensory input and experience. When it calms, you find yourself in the same room, lying in a bed with a glass of brandy in your hand. Through the walls from the streets outside come the sound of screams and shattering glass and the cacophony of an angry mob. You take a sip and it warms your gullet. Across the room, the door opens behind a patient, steady push. Into the room walks Thaos. The floorboards creaking beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of the brandy has trickled down your throat before you speak. I was a
fool to think I could tame these people.
You came closer than most.
A fine epitaph.
No worse than any.
You are concentrating, focusing with all of your energy. It feels as though you are diving into a stone wall over and over. But it cracks suddenly, unexpectedly, allowing the vague wisp of thought to leak through.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy bottle to eye level. He seems to approve of the selection and begins to reach for an empty glass.
I was saving that for someone.
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
He draws a long curved knife from his belt smeared with fresh blood with his left hand and gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife in the other, its point dangling above your heart.
Prove it.
Theo slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. A pulse of reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor and you hear it shatter. With the last of your strength, you take his knife hand in both yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an instant, to your great surprise, the pathway to his mind is left open to you, unguarded, and the answer comes, simple, cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though you have an answer you've searched for all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your reach. You look at Thaos with the wide eyes of someone seeing for the first time and draw your last breath as a black, velvety darkness descend over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of Animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated and that an Animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all, Brackenbury Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Deerwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Thaos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the leaden key itself.
Shit, son. The Hermit of Hodred House. The assassin at large. Can't go back into the city. Okay. As you cross the bridge, a lot draws up beside you. The fires of Defiance Bay cast a shivering, flickering light across one half of his face, the other in darkness.
Please stop. I need to tell you something. I have not been entirely honest about my motives for traveling with you up to this point. When I finished my training in Adir, I was introduced to an organization. All I knew was that they were opposed to the unchecked spread of Animancy, and that they could guarantee me postings far away from the Seathwood my father and his Earl. At that time, it was enough.
Oh, this bastard is Leaden Key.
In the early years, I thought of them as many things. Hooded men, prudent teachers, the Leaden Key. Their rules were strict, but their guidance was clear. I sincerely believed they wanted to keep Kith from the folly of their own foolish ambitions. I came to the Deerwood a little over a year ago. My orders were to gather information on Animancy in the region. A senior contact met with me every few months to receive my reports and issue new leads. She sent me to Gilded Vale to keep an eye on events surrounding the local lord, but I lost track of her shortly after that. I don't know if she was reassigned, killed, or sacrificed, the way you saw. At the time you met me, I'd been on my own for a couple of months. I needed some kind of direction. And after that scrape with the locals, I was ready to get out of town. But then you mentioned that you'd survived that Beowick, and I thought you might be able to put me back on the Leaden Key's trail. And I was correct in a way. What we found wasn't what I expected. I knew the Leaden Key was trying to stop Animancy, but I didn't realize how far they'd gone. Murder, sabotage, abandoning entire districts to shambling horrors. And now the whole city is up in flames. I'm still not sure about Animancy, but I know I've been following the wrong master. Please, accept my apology, and my service. Let me fight with you to stop Thaos.
And what do you really expect us to do with this too-late confession? Trust you on your word?
With all your supposed extra senses, you let this happen. How like a watcher to miss what's right in front of his eyes because he's too busy dancing in the ether. I still feel kinda attached, even with the betrayal. He's got this way of taking offense that I really like. Tough one. Apology accepted.
Thank you. This is a great burden off my shoulders.
If you remember, I like to discuss a few things. Alright, idea. Oh, we'll do that later.
Hey there.
Do not want to do that now. Citizens continue to report. The right taking employment was nearly set upon again on the road, but your patrols anyway. Travel to. I saw that isn't lost number has killed her in the bed, but not before she returned to an hour. I wonder if she's. An outer disc is wedged into a shallow depression in the rock. Ruins glow from the surface. This looks like a very big ruin. I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. I know this is a shorter episode, but oh wait, let's speak to him.
Hey,
We can call it.
say what you want about Dear Woodens. They haven't met the problem yet they couldn't solve by killing some scapegoats.
You fight for people because you see something there that deserves defending, even more so because someone you trust sees it too. Then you turn around and they do something like this, and the person who made you want to help them is gone. They're doing what they think the gods want of them. It's nice that they mean well, but how can an organized murder be their best guess? Although, come to think of it, maybe they're just following Waidman's example. He was purging his own long before Deerwood got the idea. Only he was purging because they weren't Euthasian enough. Never thought I'd find myself missing the hospitality back home. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day.